Welcome to the Vertical Shift Podcast, where we engage in candid conversation about life topics and real issues from a Christian perspective. I'm Justin.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Tommy.
Let's get started, boys.
All right. Well, we've got a fun episode for you guys. But before we jump into that, I did want to mention something pretty cool that's happening. So this week, we have what's called a Safe Haven Baby Box that we have been working on for about 2 years now to get installed in our community. And pretty pumped about that. It's going in the local fire station.
The ribbon cutting of this.
The ribbon cutting. It is installed.
The grand opening.
It is ready to go. And so, man, it's just such a big thing that we've been working on and trying to get the whole community involved in it. And so hopefully we'll save some babies' lives through the process.
I'm going to say, man, I think explain a little bit high level what it is, you know.
Yeah. So
there's context clues there, but, you know.
All right. So there's a safe haven law that exists for moms that have newborns that can surrender their baby over to any hospital or fire station. Now, most people, I would say young people, don't even know that law's in existence. But this baby box was created to create anonymity. Not many people want to look somebody in the face and hand their baby over. Yeah. And so this baby box is installed on the outside of the wall of a facility that's open 24/7 like that. And so they can just open that door at any time during the night, place that baby in there, shut the door, and silent alarms will go off to alert. And so there's been so many cases around here, and even recently, of just babies being abandoned.
Yeah.
And so to give them an option, it's easy to judge that and be like, how could you ever do that? But man, we never walked a mile in their shoes either. So we just want to give them an option.
Or, you know, to your point, without even the judgment, it's like, man, just think about that baby, you know, versus, you know, somebody might place in a dumpster or, you know, absolutely. And then, you know, thinking obviously the name Safe Haven. So that baby will have a safe place.
Yeah.
That's sweet, man.
The incredible thing about it is the lady that is the creator of it, she was abandoned by her mother. And so this was her mission, to create something like this for mothers that are in desperate, dire situations, to have an option. And so, yeah, it's pretty exciting. So it's finally here.
So, and if anybody wants to even know more about it, they can go Google Safe Haven Baby Box and go to the website and see that, read that story and see what it's all about. It's really, really exciting. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. So excited for it to be here.
And you know, there's maybe some people that hear that and say, oh, is that, you know, an enabler to help a mother do that? And I think the response to that is, well, I mean, it's not that it's an enabler. That mother, you know, is going to abandon that child. We don't want it to be abandoned in a garbage can on the side of the road.
Right.
Yeah.
And this gives them a way to do that without that face-to-face interaction you're talking about.
And like I said, there's a variety of situations. No two circumstances are the same. And you think about a young girl and the variety of things that can happen, but to become pregnant and go, I'm not bringing my baby into the world that I live in. I'm not doing it. It will be, to have the mindset that baby would be better off abandoned somewhere, you know? Yeah. So we just look at it in the regards of, if we're going to be pro-life and that's our stance, then we need to provide options for those that would otherwise choose something different. So, I don't look at it as enabling and promoting. Right. It's still a very traumatic thing to deliver a baby and then hand that baby over.
Well, especially, you know, talking about enabling. It's like, man, and then if you don't have something like that, then it's the potential of, you know, the argument can be made. Like then you're enabling that baby's life being in jeopardy, depending on the circumstances the mom finds herself in. So, man, that's cool, man. That's cool work, and that'd be cool for the community and also the probably countless of babies that will, you know, be turned over and placed in a home or however that other part works, you know.
Right.
That's cool.
I'm planning on being there. It would be really cool if we could broadcast from there. I know we can't, but that would be cool to kind of be able to set up live.
No, remember, we try to stay on video. No.
Well, I don't want to be on video, but no, I'm just saying. But there will be news media coverage and stuff, so that's cool.
True.
Yeah. Maybe we can ask people and be like, you ever heard of Vertical Shift? We're with Vertical Shift. We ask all the news folks.
We'll make our own media badge.
Yeah, there we go. With the press.
Media.
Media badge. That's great.
Medi. We got to spell it wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Well, hey,
awesome.
so that kind of leads me into, or my thoughts go into. Sorry, somebody's
Was
at
that
my
your
front
phone?
door. Somebody's at my oh no, that was my thought.
I was like, dude, I didn't. I was like, I did not hit the button on the board. I'm
What are
like,
these wind chimes?
That was my thought coming to life. Speaking of babies, I'm just curious. So I'm not gonna, Jeff, I'm not gonna put your kid's name out on the 12 listeners who we have, but this may grow later. But Jeff sends me a email to be a what's the word? For the application, a reference
Oh yeah.
for his son, his oldest son. And I had he told me, hey, did you get that? And I'm like, no, I didn't get it. I said,
No, you called me and said, "Who is Elijah?"
yeah. I said, who is Elijah? Are you asking, is this real? Is this some long lost cousin?
I was like, "That's my firstborn."
I had no idea because they call, is that his middle name, what he goes by?
No, that's his Elijah. Yeah, his middle name is what he goes by.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that just, now we're talking about babies. So, I was going to say, how'd you come up with Elijah?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Well, all of our kids, we have biblical first names and family middle names. That's kind of how we went with
So
it.
is
Tommy.
I'll mute
oh
that.
my word!
I'll mute
It's
So-
like that scene in what is it? A Christmas? Not Christmas. What's the one where like the angel gets his wings?
I'm already
oh,
giggly, but
what is that movie?
because I've been reading some stupid stuff over here for this episode.
It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, an angel gets
Yeah,
his wings.
you're like a little old angel
I'm just
guy
handing out
on your
wings.
phone. Yeah.
No, so your middle name, come on, bro.
Hey,
Is that a family name?
so yes, actually it is. So my uncle, his middle name was Lacan. It was French.
Lacan.
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 And my dad thought it was a neat name, and so he wanted to name me Jeffrey Kahn.
But your dad's from Alabama, so it's like Jeffrey Cohen.
Exactly.
I mean, Tommy, you got to be careful over there in that corner.
Sir Thomas
Holton.
Oh,
I mean,
well, I'm the fourth. So mine definitely is a middle name. I mean, a family name.
I chose not to repeat mine.
I know. Well, I had a son, the firstborn, and Christine was like, nope.
Yeah,
So our kids' names have nothing. I mean, the middle names all carry our name. So
sure.
his middle name is Thomas.
Christine said we are not passing that down. It dies with you.
One stud's enough.
That's right. But so names, I think about names are important.
They
But
are.
Justin, like your kids' names, any family names there?
Yeah, we pass down like family names for their middle name.
You just kind of find like what's cool.
No, or just what's honestly the test we always had was we had to be able to say their first and middle name fast because we knew like we'd eventually get angry, with our kids, and so we had to make sure it sounded good. So it was like
Sounded
first
threatening.
last name. Yeah, it didn't like it wasn't hard to roll off the tongue or it sounded too funny.
Well, you have to go
It's
through this
just-
whole list too of tainted names.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Some that are off the list because of
Yeah. A kid in your past that like beat you up. Yeah, not me though.
Have y'all seen? There's a video of a teacher who's purposely mispronouncing, and I just cry laughing too.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
That was good.
Well, so talking
Because
about
names are important.
names are important.
And so,
and let's tell
what
us,
are we talking about today, Tommy?
Well, let's talk about the story of the naming of our podcast.
Oh my!
We've hinted
it was
around.
easier to name a kid.
Oh, 100%. We hinted around and joked around. Hey, we're going to have an episode about the names that we came up with the podcast. And that's why my phone was, because I actually had it off of silent, but I'm over here looking through. Let me just say this. We started our first episode, went live, dropped. Is that what the cool kids say?
Sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
First episode dropped around April 1st, March 30th of 2024. Right.
Mm-hmm.
We started talking about doing this podcast probably December to January 2023.
And it almost didn't happen because we couldn't come up with.
Oh
a
my
name.
word!
Justin was
We-
almost.
I
out
was
the
so
door.
angry, y'all.
We went
so
through.
angry.
I am
There's
looking
times that I
through-
thought just about like, oh man, if I could throat punch them after that text came through, I definitely would have. But the Lord knew I didn't need to be in y'all's presence when y'all were.
I am looking through these texts. Oh, you had your own that we would could have throat punched you on.
Apparently,
too.
Justin was hungry when he was going.
So let's start talking about
So
some of
now
these
we're fat
themes.
shaming. Great. You know, we went there.
Well, you know, I mean, I guess it does make sense. You know,
Right?
That's why I'm down 16 pounds,
There
fellas.
you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow.
Because we rejected all the names he wanted.
So let's start the theme. Justin always came up with a food-related
Right.
name.
Yeah.
What are
he
some?
had probably started dieting at this point and was just like, you know what?
Or I was eating while I was,
well, you know, I mean,
thinking
look,
about it.
Justin has lost a lot of weight. You know,
Twice now.
I
in
mean,
my lifetime.
well, I mean, and you're probably, you're probably in the best shape of your life right now. I'm assuming.
I don't know.
Huh?
I mean, I feel healthy.
He's been better.
As a middle-aged man, I feel good.
Yeah. But I mean, we're talking about from like, you know, pretty, you know, severe obesity to very.
Wow. Not only obesity, severe obesity. That was brutal.
I'm not trying to be mean.
I know you're not, but I saw you thinking about what to say, and then it came out, and you knew it'd be funny. That was good. I'll give it. Look,
But I mean, but
I
you're
can
what?
take and
But
give,
you're
man.
like, but you're like 5'7" and you weighed like 300 pounds. I mean, that's. I mean,
Bro, I'm definitely taller than you.
okay. Are you 5'10"?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm 5'9" and 3/4.
Before you do your hair.
So anyway, but you've lost a lot of weight. So I mean, I think though, and I've gained weight, but and I always think about food too. Don't get me wrong, but so some of his.
So what were some? Let's
Jeff,
go
just
there.
start with one. What was the one of the ones?
The table.
The table.
He was clearly at the table.
And here's the thing. So here's what you don't get when you hear that, right? So and now now that we're talking about this out loud, I feel like I looked at it from the lens of, hey, we'll be around a table talking, but y'all saw it as food. I'm the one that's losing some weight, so maybe y'all were thinking about food.
I'm pretty sure you had one called Milk and Honey.
Oh, well, hold on.
Who doesn't love milk and honey?
That has no table in it.
Let me tell you this. I didn't hate the table. I think I was one of the ones kind of in your car, like, hey, I get it.
Yeah.
We're around, like, let's talk at the table. Like,
Bring it to the table.
we had table talk. We had, but then you look up there was, 100 podcasts named, had the word table in it too. So
yeah,
that
it was too.
that was another thing. But that was the mild side of the food.
Yeah.
Then this guy comes with milk and honey.
Milk and
I'm like,
honey.
milk and honey? I mean, like the land of milk and honey. I mean, we know that's biblical, but that could also go a bunch of different directions. People could think of a lot of different
Honestly,
things.
That one, I'll be honest, I probably was hungry because milk, I think of Oreos, honey. That's biblical.
The first thing I thought of when you said milk and honey, I was like, well, why not just name it milk and cookies? It's like-
Oh, goodness.
So I just want to put this out there. Jeff is not immune to having one that does not relate to food.
What did I do?
This guy, I'm looking at the text.
Uh-oh.
Are you ready for this?
No.
I just lost it. All right.
Here come the wind chimes.
Oh, I know. Well, there's so many. This is the one I was laughing at when we had to redo the intro because it was so fun.
Did you just snort on air? Yeah, you
The
did.
stomach bug was what? Sorry, I'm sorry. All right,
The stomach
That's
bug?
not what I was going for. I'm looking through all of these. It was scattered, covered, and smothered.
That was a joke. Total joke.
Oh,
I think you
man.
started doing those because my food reference
Right.
ones were prompting Jeff to.
I was getting hungry.
Yeah.
So there was something about salt and light, or it's
Mm-hmm.
food related.
Yeah. There's also 100 podcasts that
I
have
felt
salt
like
and light in
you
it.
guys were being really original, basic in your names.
Basic.
Yeah. And then they started getting crazy.
Well, you say that, but before you go where I think you're going, Men on Fire podcast, that just shows that Tommy was listening to or watching a bunch of the Kendrick brother movies like Fireproof, because that's
Yeah.
definitely where that
Men
came
on
from.
fire.
Men on Fire.
So I said it in my mind like that.
I think my favorite time he came up with was Dude Imperfect.
Did I come up with that?
Yes, you did. Or maybe it was Justin. I don't
I
remember.
don't know.
Dude, that's stupid.
Dude.
Or also, Tommy had one that was Men on Mission, and then to abbreviate it, because you got to abbreviate things to be cool, it was the Mom Podcast. So
That was pretty good.
That's pretty
That
funny.
is
but all
pretty good.
like all that would do is make a lot of ladies that are
tune in.
moms tune in and then be like, these are the worst.
These are the worst moms ever.
Which goes right into another one called Awkwardly Speaking.
Oh my goodness. This is probably only funny to us, by the way.
Probably. I don't know.
What's another one? So then we went from food topics to,
A thesaurus.
well, there was
Because they got crazy.
there was like the battle or the what was it? Battle axe was
Yeah.
one of them. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Relentless pursuit.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
at one point I think Tommy was like, "Man, we need something that's just like,
Rugged truth.
just
Yeah.
ultimate, like rugged." And then we're like, "But
like
there's
that
also
one,
gonna be a bunch of different people listening to it." But
And then like every 15, 20 new names we came up with, we kind of just circled back to Lumpy Rug.
So in the lumpy rug, it's really genius when you think about it.
Thank
So
you.
it started though as under the rug. And the reason it started as under the rug is like, hey, these are topics that we want to talk about that most people don't.
Right,
And
they
what
sweep it under
happens
the rug.
with those things? They sweep it under the rug. It's
And
the
it gets lumpy.
proverbial rug,
Right.
Justin. Proverbial rug. And
But that was the one that Justin would just not even.
and then it was like, so then we was like, hey, what happens to the rug as you put your problems underneath and it doesn't surface? It gets lumpy. You start
Brilliance.
tripping over it. I started making logos on it.
It was
we
good.
had a yard sale and I had a rug out there and I took a picture of y'all's.
see, and here's the thing: like you say it was good, but like even you taking the time to make the logos for a Lumpy Rug podcast name, like all that did was validate to me that it was horrible.
Justin was ready to
Oh,
quit.
my
Like he was like, I am, guys. I will. He was serious.
I think I even put in the group text like, "Hey, if that's what it is,
no, you did.
I'm out."
No, you did, and
Yeah.
you could read
Yeah.
the seriousness in it.
Yeah. Oh, it was meant to be serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
'Cause-
we
then-
kept.
but then also,
We
here's
kept
the other thing.
bringing it up. Dude.
Whether it was small group or if Jeff was doing something while he's teaching something, whatever it was, there was always a reference afterward about sweeping stuff under the rug or like things get lumpy and it
yes.
just kept popping up everywhere and it just kept building up anger inside of me.
You even brought it up in your Sunday school class one day. You said something.
I
was
said
ju-
when you sweep stuff
and
under
I think
the rug,
I was just looking at you
it
like
just you
like
trip
this.
over
I was
it.
just looking at you with my eyes wide, and I'm like, really? You're like, stop.
I know.
That was so good.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that was a good
We
one. I
had
still
we
like
had
it.
shirts ready and everything.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was
it was.
good.
Oh my word.
But that was
And
funny.
look, and I will say this: anybody that knows us and you happen to listen to this, please come up and tell us whether or not Lumpy Rug would have been a good name, or like, hey,
Welcome
we-
to the
we
Lumpy
made the
Rug
right call.
podcast. Man, it just sounds so good.
It
Like,
just
people
sounds so lumpy
people
off the
would
tongue.
look at that like, but I got to listen to that. Like, I want to check that out.
Right.
Because I mean, some of the other things are just so bland. Like,
But they'd only check it out once.
I mean, we could have always gone with Justin's long of the short.
That's right. That's right.
that even mean?
that's so
I
stupid.
don't know. Okay. But Lumpy Rug sounds amazing. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we got you on here saying it.
Oh,
so. Oh, by the way, for anybody listening who heard the challenge of Lumpy Rug and the podcast gets a free T-shirt, this is not the episode.
That's right.
Yeah. Because we have snuck it in places. Oh man, what are some other funny ones? I just want to go through a couple more here because
But
people don't understand how many text messages we.
Well, people don't understand how many podcasts there are
Oh wow!
with the name that you like that's already taken.
Yeah.
Here's
So that was the challenge.
Maker's Mark.
Maker's Market?
No, not Market. Maker's Mark.
Oh,
Isn't that a beverage?
That's a
that's like
whiskey.
an adult. Yeah,
That's a
that's
bourbon
an
or
adult
whiskey.
beverage. Yeah, that's.
so funny.
oh goodness gracious.
Oh, my word.
Jesus Junkies. That's stupid.
Who came up with that one?
Me?
Okay.
I'm looking at a list. I sent like 10 names.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's why we blocked you on our text thread.
oh my word. Oh no.
Justin said, Maker's Mark. That's a brand of alcohol, bro.
Yeah.
But it's funny, like we say names are important, and then y'all throw out some stuff like that. Oh,
Do you remember the worst one he had ever? Ready? In on real. And then he tried to spell it backward. And like, what was that?
I was tired.
And then he tried to say it means something like backwards, like
Roy, one of his Lord's names.
Roy.
That was Farster.
Welcome to the Roy podcast. I'm like, it's not even Roy. It's in on real. It's Ior.
No.
No, you know backwards. It's Roy. That's so funny.
I wouldn't say
Jeff,
it.
you
Say
texted all
them.
caps. You said, "Stop it, Roy."
Oh, that was terrible.
I wasn't saying call it the Roy podcast. I was trying to give y'all the meaning behind the name.
Okay.
But clearly, y'all are not a fan of one of the Lord's names backwards.
And then I said, "What about real on in?"
Oh goodness, that was terrible.
Oh my goodness. Jeff said Mount Moriah.
Hey, listen. Speaking of names, I've got to share the story with you guys
Okay.
because my kiddos came home from school, and my wife was unpacking their backpacks, and they had taken school pictures. and so they had this form, like if you want to buy them, you got to make a check out and to your school and send it in. And my wife was in such a frenzy with it that she sent it off, and she got a note back from the teacher that said, "Could you please fill out the check correctly and put the name of the school?" Because she just simply wrote your school
To the pay two line.
Made the check out
Your
to your school. Oh my goodness.
She's gonna
lost
love
it.
you putting her on Front Street.
Ah, it was amazing. She laughed for probably 10 minutes before she told me what had happened. And then she said, the crazy part is I've already bought pictures from the school and I didn't make it out to your school. So it was the same company. She's like, why would I do it this time? Oh, she even had it registered, to keep track with
I was
it.
gonna
She
say, I think that was
titled-
funny. The checkbook, like you showed, it was like all big letters, like just with confidence. There wasn't any like.
She's like, what photography place is
Yeah.
called your school? It was so funny.
The one that takes your money, you don't get the photos.
I said, did you sign it with your name? Oh, goodness. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad of where we landed. I will tell you, like vertical shift.
Yeah.
People get why
it's okay.
It's right. Yeah,
It's second best.
yeah. And that's funny. Like somebody mentioned it in here. Like that didn't even make the list. It just kind of
Yeah, it started out with like, which one was it on here?
something perspective or something.
Perspective shift was one that we kind of landed on, which was cool, but there was already one taken. Maybe a couple of them already taken with perspective
We
shift.
just didn't want to have.
Yeah, we didn't want it to be confusing, so then we found vertical shift. And
Yeah, well, we knew this was going to blow up, so we didn't want to,
one of
people
get
wanna
lost
mix it,
searching
yeah.
for us.
yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. That's
Well, that
funny.
was fun. I'm glad we're past that. To be honest, it was a long time. That was 3 or 4 months straight of multiple days. And I did have some thoughts at some point, like it's going to get so stressful. These guys, Justin
not even
especially,
gonna do it.
Justin's going to back out because he's.
No. I don't even remember if we'd bought like the equipment yet or not. Oh no,
I don't think.
I don't think we did.
No, not
Yeah.
while we
But-
were coming up with a name.
But when we
So I'd have
knew
been like,
when we knew things when we knew things bothered you, we just kept on.
y'all
with
kept
it. I'm
poking and
reading it,
prodding,
just the
man.
text messages are funny. Like we're just like Jeff said. Justin will like it. He'll come around. Just go ahead and launch it, Tommy. Like, and then he was like,
I was so adamant.
he's like, bro, I am out.
No. Yeah. No, I was definitely digging in my heels on that one. I was just,
It was funny too, because then we would ask people afterwards, like, "Hey, all right, give us your honest opinion. How does the Lumpy Rug podcast sound?" And they would always make this confused look face, and Justin's like, "See, I told you."
no.
Yeah, I don't think too many people. I think we actually did a slight, like a little poll, and maybe a couple people was like, that would make me listen to it.
Well, here's the thing. I'm glad you brought that up. So when we did a little field test to put out the name, we first put it out to the guys group. Like, hey, which names do you like off of this? But then Jeff always had to, or Tommy, maybe it was you, had to give context as to the name's name, like Lumpy Rug and like Yusubin Rug. And like, but like the first vote was like, people were like, what's this? And then they didn't vote for it. But then like the context was like, oh yeah, I actually like that one. I'm like, if you have to explain why the name is the name, and then people are like, oh, okay, I get that. And then they vote, that's not a real vote.
Right.
not a
Welcome
real
to the
vote.
Lumpy Rug podcast, where you sweep stuff under the rug because that wouldn't.
Yeah.
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 I get it. But it was pretty funny.
Hey,
Kinda
y'all
go
are
through this
welcome.
process.
Y'all are welcome.
Thanks, Justin.
Yeah, man.
Are you better now though?
I'm glad we've aired this out. Literally,
Yeah.
we've gotten it out from under the rug.
Because there was one called Full Disclosure. In all honesty.
Those sound like me.
Yeah.
Hey, I will say that I do have a pet peeve, and sometimes you guys say that is, hey, you'll start your sentence with "in all honesty," and that has a kind of a meaning like, oh, you hadn't been honest, but now you are.
Yeah, it is kind of dumb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Who says it?
I think Justin says it the best.
Yeah.
In all seriousness,
Honesty, and full transparency. Like you hadn't been. Just say what you're going to say. And the reason why is because someone called it out in me, in a business setting, and it was a mentor of mine, and he just shot me a text and said, "Hey, just think about when you say that. What that person may have not have thought twice about it, but what it's really saying." Is or maybe you weren't being honest and now you are.
Well, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Then right now,
Truthfully
I
speaking.
get what you're saying,
Yeah.
but I'm also like sometimes, especially in a corporate world, like there's a lot thought through that some people are like,
Right.
bro, that's a lot to think through. It's also like, hey, with all due respect, I'm about to disrespect you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
We've had a good run though. If we call it, a spade, we've had a good run since April.
Well, we're not going
And,
anywhere.
no, I'm just saying we've had a good run.
Had a good run, guys. I mean, it's been great.
All right, slumber rug.
I'm just trying to be honest. I'm just trying to be honest with the people.
Here we go.
No, we've had a great run from where it started and what it's doing now, and just the stories that we've
Yeah.
been able to share on here, and folks that have come on. Like it's been fun.
And it's nothing, it's nothing that it's not about us. I mean, we're on here talking, but it's really the Lord working through it. And it's Him pulling people or putting people in the right moment to listen to the right thing. And, we try to be obedient as we can. We're not perfect, but I don't want, people to think that we think that we're doing something great here. It's just, this is our heart. We wanted to share what our men's group goes through, just the subjects. And it was just, there's a lot of people out there that don't have that same connections with other men or other groups. It's not even about men, people in general. Women, need the same accountability and the same friendships to help them grow in their walk in their faith. And just to be able to share and talk about some of the experiences that we hear and talk about, and how we can shift our focus from self to God. And
And I think it's really cool to hear stories too of just people passes by. I was like, oh man, I was listening to this one, and I had one lady in particular stop me and said, hey, what's this Bible study you guys did in your group? Like, I'm really interested in doing something like that. So there's pretty cool stuff.
And
that comes
people
from.
I had no idea that even listened.
Yeah.
Well,
like your buddy.
Yeah.
I don't want to mention his name.
no,
unless
I would shout out to Jeremy, man.
Yeah. It was cool to meet him.
And he and I have grown up together. It was great. I was so glad that he came and visited and got to meet you guys, and for him to share that, hey, I've been listening, and it's helpful.
Right.
And I mean, that is some reassurance there, but it's special.
Yeah.
Remember he shared, I think one of the things that he said, your buddy Jeremy, whenever he said he listened to this stuff, he's like, hey man, like listening, he's like, and also like, it's being used whether you realize it or not. And I'm like, it just kind of hit home. It's like, man, I know we have fun doing this and stuff, and our focus is to tell, stories and hit on things. So I don't know, just sitting here and recording stuff and it being put out there, you don't always think about like its reach. And so people like Jeremy sharing that and others is just real sweet, man.
Yes.
So
That's
shout
really
out to
cool.
Jeremy.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. Well, guys, we really appreciate you guys coming on the journey with us. We hope that you'll stick with us, and thanks for tuning in and listening to the.
Hey, somebody
the
send us
stories
an
of our
email.
names. Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't got an email.
we still first email ever.
It's probably, we have gotten some in the very beginning.
Probably because he keeps coming back as like, sender not available, so they give up with all those.
We're probably not
words
even
and
Can't
saying it
spell
right.
it, or it just takes so
Let's
long.
change it.
Yeah,
I think we need to change it
Thank you.
to the lumpy rug.
Lumpy rug.
Let's do it. Thanks, guys, for listening.
Yeah.
Love you guys.